Ann Kelly, most recently, this is Ann Kelly right here. Ann Kelly most recently worked as a deputy district attorney in the Boulder County District Attorney's Office. She worked in the 18th and 19th Judicial District Attorney's offices. She worked in private practice. She also focuses on prosecuting. She worked in private practice, and she also had focused on prosecuting domestic violence, homicide, sexual assault, fraud, and other cases, according to the governor's office. So this is important because Ann Kelly is the current district attorney right now for the SLV. Robert Willett is trying to get his old job back. And it is between Robert Willett and Ann Kelly. And the ghost of Alonzo Payne is the specter. Is just right there. In 2020, she pinned pieces in the Boulder Daily Camera about the risk COVID posed to domestic violence victims. Ann Kelly began being the district attorney for the SLV on September 1st, 2022. So say hello to your brand new district attorney. Even if she loses, she's still going to be the DA for the next 2 months. Alonzo Payne had resigned July 13th, the day after the Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser announced an agreement between his office and the 12th Judicial District Attorney's Office to bring in an independent monitor to ensure the DA's office is complying with the Victim Rights Amendment following a multi-month investigation into complaints that it was not. Eugene Farish, a former 12th Judicial District Attorney, Eugene Farish said that Ann Kelly's selection is a terrific choice. Ann Kelly will do a great job of putting together an office that's facing challenges and overcoming the backlog that they're facing. Eugene Farish also said Ann is already on top of it. Ann Kelly is on top of it. She will have the backing of local law enforcement. We felt she would be the person to best address these issues and take on these cases as she is in the process of rebuilding this office. I'm sure she'll be serious. I'm sure she'll take victims' rights serious. I hope that she understands that all justice is restorative. There's not just some, destructive justice. But Ann Kelly, I think it's actually time to get the compassion of a woman. People, I think she'll do a great job. I think Ann Kelly would do a great job. Especially after the two disasters. Robert Willett was fucking terrible. Alonzo Payne was goddamn fucking terrible. Let's try a woman this time. We've already seen what men can do. Or, let's see. The first man, he took $1,500. The second man didn't care about the victims. So one's just taken from the taxpayers. The other one's just, he was yelling at the victims. So that sucks, right? You get robbed and then you call Alonzo Payne and he's like, you shut up. You shut up, you! Where are the victims supposed to go? See, she'll have the backing of local law enforcement. Let's see, Polis. Jared Polis had appointed Phil Weiser to be the interim district attorney after Alonzo Payne had resigned, and other district attorneys' offices helped with the 12th Judicial District cases over the past month. Jared Polis, the governor of Colorado, on Monday thanked everybody, said that Ann Kelly is an effective prosecutor that takes the concerns of law enforcement commissioners and victims and works to address them through common sense problem solving. I'm confident that's what Ann Kelly will do as the new DA for the 12th Judicial District. Jared Polis said in a statement, we welcome Ann Kelly to this new role, bringing her experience as a prosecutor. Thank her for answering this new and challenging call to public service and know she's committed to bringing everyone to the table to deliver justice and restore trust and confidence in the district attorney's office. Ann Kelly, aww. See, there's a couple other pictures here. So you got, and there, that's her big press conference right there. Actually, we should pull that one up, right? Look how professional she is, and look at all the people backing her. I mean, my God, what is that? Is that the mayor? Is that the rep? You got a House rep. You got the mayor. You got the sheriff there? My God, Ann Kelly is where it's at. She's Republican, right? She's a proud Republican. I mean, all these Republicans around here should like that, right? So you're going to get a conservative, but you're going to get, somebody different. I think. I hope. She's a new pair of eyes. I mean, after Boris Johnson, what did we get? We got Liz Truss. And after Liz Truss, what did we get? Rishi Sunak. Eventually, we're going to find Abraham Lincoln. We're just going to kind of keep on turning the page until Abraham Lincoln just kind of pops up out of nowhere. So we welcome Ann Kelly to this new role, bringing her experience as a prosecutor. Thank her for answering this new and challenging call to public service, and know she's committed to bringing everyone to the table to deliver justice and restore trust and confidence in the district attorney's office. Ann Kelly is appointed until a new district attorney is elected in an election that will be held in November. The independent monitor will continue to be in place 6 months from September 1st. Boulder, Colorado District Attorney said Ann Kelly is an outstanding leader, be a good district attorney. The San Luis Valley is gaining an extremely experienced, talented, and dedicated prosecutor. Doherty, some person named Doherty, said in a statement, Ann Kelly is a strong prosecutor who is especially passionate about ensuring the victims of crime are treated with the utmost dignity and respect, said Colorado District Attorney's Council Executive Director Tom Raines. Well, Tecumseh was murdered my dog, so I hope that Ann Kelly takes that serious. And there's, some other complaints. But that was the, Cali, the casus belli, what is that? The Cali basis. That was the shit that started it all. That was the shit that started it all. That was the big bang. That was the big bang to the nonstop harassment and abuse and shit. Victims' rights, the right to be heard at any court proceeding. If you're a victim of crime, especially major crime, if you're a victim of assault, if you're a victim of rape, if you're a victim of somebody shooting you, if you're a victim of somebody stealing from you, you're allowed to go to any court proceeding and you have a right to be heard. The courts of justice are open to every person. Every person. The courts of justice are open to everybody. And a speedy remedy is afforded for every injury to person, property, or character. Right, correct, true justice should be administered without sale, denial, or delay. Let's see here. What else can we... I want a district attorney that actually gives a shit about victims' rights. I want a district attorney that actually cares about the ends. The ends of the justice system is justice. In order to have peace, we need the presence of justice. In order to get the presence of justice, we need the truth. So there's a relationship between all these virtues. The truth is a foundation for justice. You need the presence of justice for peace. Truth, justice, peace. Those are the three virtues that I want out of my DA. Whether it's Robert Willett or whether it's Ann Kelly. I also want a court that respects the grand jury indictment. I want a court that respects all of its members, not just its judges and its DAs, but even its lowly members. It's just a process server. And the grand jury indictment. Why would you not? That's the people. The people are doing the grand jury indictment. I want a court. I want a district attorney that respects the grand jury indictment. I want a DA who respects the people enough to form a grand jury. The DA, you can run the grand jury and really sway the grand jury however you want it to. But the grand jury is the people, and the people get to be, it's inquisitive or inquisitional. So you get to interrogate people. You get to go around and find the truth. Get to the bottom of things. We've been deprived of so many damn jury trials with some fucking lawyer. They paid for a lawyer who did a bunch of legal tricks and shenanigans, and now we the people don't even know what the hell happened to the whole thing. The dude did the thing, and then now he's just walking around. That's not... I want a grand jury who respects the law enough to pursue all the major felonies out there. Can you imagine if we had a judicial system that actually cared about justice and peace and the truth? Can you imagine if we actually had a justice system that respected victims' rights? A court for the SLV that respected Tecumseh enough to know that that was a life. Crazy Blackheart is at it again. Old Johnny Cloud Kicker here, back on the mic. I got a dream today. A court who respects the right to remain silent and the freedom from double jeopardy. I want a DA and a court. I want a judicial process that respects our rights to self-defense, our right to habeas corpus, our right to serve legal papers, the right to a lawyer, a right to defend ourselves, the right to legal process, the right to enter a complaint directly to the court, directly to the judge. All these judges, look at all these judges that we got here for the SLV. And according to Michael Gonzalez, if you're ex parte, meaning you're not a cop and you're not a lawyer, I guess not even judges, right? If you're not a cop or a lawyer, then you don't get to file any kind of complaints. The DA files the complaints, but the judge has some tools. He can, ask the judge why they didn't file a thing. They can get the special prosecutor, get a special judge. They got some tools. And for the judges to pretend, first of all, that the citizens don't matter. You got 46,000 citizens. You only got, 100, 200 cops and lawyers? Most of us are poor peasant citizens. So when Michael Gonzalez doesn't take a complaint from one of us poor peasants, he is saying that he doesn't give a damn about 46,000 people in the SLV. That's the biggest complaint I would say about the SLV. If the cops and the lawyers and the DA and the judge, you got to have some way for the citizen, the peasant. And until they're a pathological liar, and what is pathological? 10 times? We'll say 5 times. 5 major. But until that's, you can't, you just drove up to the scene and somebody had reported a crime, you got to believe that victim, and you got to give them all the victim's rights and all the benefit of the doubt in the world. And go investigate. And then go after the bad guy. Go after the culprit and arrest the motherfucker. That's a felon. Why did you become a judge? Why did you become a lawyer? Why did you become a cop? Just to arrest a bunch of lawful people and then fuck them over? Meanwhile, the actual criminals get to run roughshod over everybody? Here in the SLV, we got Michael Gonzalez, who's the chief. But for the district court, it's not just Michael Gonzalez. We got Amanda Hopkins and Newmeyer Olson and Kim Cortez. So we have, 4 district court judges. If we have 4 district court judges, and I think, what do they make? Like $100,000. The DA makes $130,000. So are they making $130,000? So we got 4 judges. That's half $500,000. I want a court system. I want Amanda Hopkins and Kristen Newmeyer Olson and Kim Cortez Rodriguez and Michael Gonzalez to give a shit about the crimes that are happening in all 6 counties. Alamosa, Rio Grande, Conejos, all 6 counties in the SLV, Costilla, Mineral, and Saguache. I want a DA that believes in injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. All for one, one for all. You allow somebody in Mineral County, okay, he's all the way out there in Mineral County, but he got raped and robbed and murdered, and you pretend that doesn't affect you. Well, that person leaves. Well, you just destroyed an angel, and who knows where that angel goes. Good luck to you, angel, wherever the hell you go. And then you allow the devil to stay. How many times are you going to allow the devils to stay and the angels to leave? And if you keep fucking over the lawful people, the people that respect planning and zoning, are you not creating the conditions for the fucking dumbass pieces of shit, the right-wing dumbass motherfucking sovereign perverts to come right in? You're fucking over the lawful people. So if you're a Sally Farmer, what options do you have? Go into Costilla County and be lawful and get fucked over? Or don't be lawful and maybe get fucked over? It's choice between 2 evils. Seems like Sally Farmer shouldn't go to Costilla County. It's not a good place to raise a working class family. It's not a good place to live and work. Jason Kelly, Kimberly Wood, Ruth Atchison. There's a bunch of county judges. Craig Schuneman, Saguache, Mineral, Costilla, Conejos, John Stinger, and Daniel Walzel. So Alamosa County and Rio Grande County. So we got 6 county judges and then 4 district judges. So we got 10 judges. And then apparently there's like domestic relations matters, family court facilitations. I'm not for sure what. So we'll just kind of skip those for now. But there's 10 judges. Could you imagine a district attorney that doesn't kiss those judges' ass, but a district attorney that comes in and says, here's the priority. Here's Johnny Law. Don't rape, don't murder, don't steal, don't attack people. Don't physically attack people. So those are the four. Can you come up with those four laws? Can you agree that those are terrible crimes? And if you don't think that those are the worst crimes, what is a better top four? Why don't you come up with the top four? Because the moment that the district attorney, Ann Kelly or Robert Willett, says, here's my priority list. These 10 crimes, I believe, these 7 crimes, I believe, are the worst crimes out here, and we're going to prosecute them anywhere and everywhere that they exist in the San Luis Valley. It doesn't matter if it's in Mineral County, Saguache, Costilla, Conejos, Rio Grande, or Alamosa County. If you steal, if you attack somebody, if you rape somebody, if you murder somebody, you'll be held to account. It doesn't matter if you're a judge or a cop, or if you're wealthy or a large landowner, or if you're a poor peasant, working class, janitor, it doesn't matter. Everybody has to follow the law. And thou shalt not steal, Robert Willett, thou shalt not steal has been good law since Moses, since the Old Testament. Was that 3,000 years at least? Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not murder, thou shalt not steal thy neighbor's spouse and thy neighbor's goods. That's a good basis for a civilization. That's a good foundation for a civilization, is it not? Don't bear false witness against thy neighbor. That sounds legalese. What is Moses doing talking all that legal mumbo jumbo back 3,000 years ago? So we got 6 county court judges, 4 district court judges. Just read them off one more time. Ruth Atchison, Kim Wood, Jason Kelly, John Stinger, Daniel Walzel, Kim Cortez Rodriguez, Kristen Newmeyer Olson, Amanda Hopkins, and Michael Gonzalez. So we have 10 judges. Could you imagine if we had a criminal justice system where the cops and the judges and the DA were all on the same page? Not just in terms of here's the top 7 crimes, but what about the process? Here's the 7-step process. Nobody gets to skip the process. Everybody has to have the arraignment. Everybody has to have the disposition and preliminary hearing and the trial and sentencing. We're not going to have a permanent, prosecutorial class and a permanent criminal class. Since we all have to obey the law, then that means sometimes the police are going to make a mistake. I think a jury will give the police all the benefits of the doubt in the world. And if you're a good-ass sheriff, sit there and ask questions. Go ahead and answer the damn questions. If you're the sheriff, get it. What are you afraid of? The lawyer might be mean to you. He might ask some tough questions. So what? You know yourself. You know the situation. You didn't go in there just to line your pockets. You weren't there just to do some land deals or take some boards or whatever. You went out there. You were called. 911 was called. You went to a place where there's a bunch of strangers. I got a dream. I got a dream where the regular, ordinary peasant citizen of the SLV could enter a complaint and they're taken serious. If the cops and the judges ignore you, you should be able to go straight to the DA or straight to the judges. They all got their phone numbers there. Why do you put your phone numbers on the thing if you don't want people calling you? Do you want us calling you? Do you have a consistent criminal procedure for everybody? What's your thoughts on evidence? Do you have opinion pieces? The more that you let us know what your priorities are, the more we can adhere to your expectations. And the thing with expectations is that the people will rise to your expectations. They will rise to your expectations. They will be mad. They won't like it at first. But we need to build a culture here. We need to build a culture here. We need a civil society. We need a civil society where the people around here are happy to participate in their democratic republic. You're happy to caucus with the Democrats or with the Republicans. You're happy to recruit new people and register new people. For the sake of our goddamn republic, we fucking need this shit. We need virtuous people, and we need to cooperate, and we need to work together. I got a dream today where little white girls and black boys can walk hand in hand in sister and brotherhood. I got a dream today. Can you imagine having a DA and a court system and the cops that stand up to the cruel and unusual punishments Can you imagine a system which doesn't delight in excessive bail and fines and jail time? Can you imagine a system that punishes the criminals? Can you imagine a system that functions? Can you imagine a system that's not sadistic? Can you imagine a system that respects our, not just our right to speak and remonstrate and demonstrate, but our right to press, our right to peacefully assemble, our right to religion, our right to home rule? Can you imagine a system that respects our Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution and the Colorado Constitution and both of our Bills of Rights? We don't just have freedoms from the U.S. Constitution. We got freedoms from Colorado's Constitution. In fact, we got 88 freedoms. And then the victims' rights gives us a bunch of freedoms too. And those are constitutional. Victims' rights are constitutional freedoms. The right to be heard at any court proceeding. That's a victim's right. The right to be heard at any court proceeding. You want to hear some other victims' rights? I'll read these off real quick. The right to not be harassed, intimidated, or abused. The right to consult with the prosecution after the culprit has been charged, prior to disposition and prior to the trial. The alleged culprit. The right to be informed by the local police, the sheriff, and his deputies of the status of the case. What time is the next court appearance and other schedule information and needs. The right to be informed of and present for all critical stages of the criminal justice process. And what are all those critical stages? Whole bunch of them. You got the trial, you got sentencing, you got the filing of the charges, you have the resentencing hearing, you got the dispositional hearing, you have victim impact statements, hearings, forms, and orals, diversionary agreement hearings, preliminary hearings, where the defense gets to ask tough questions, any bond hearing, initial modification, reduction, or removal, the arraignment, guilty or not guilty, or nolo contendere, the motions hearing, evidentiary hearing, status hearing, pretrial readiness conference, any subpoena or application for the alleged victim's education, compensation, mental health, medical history, other privileged records, hearing, CRS 1390-107, the trial, sentencing, right to the appeals hearing, the appeals review, and the appeals decision, the petition for expungement, sealing, modification of the mandatory criminal protection order under 192707, the appeal, review, or decision, victims' rights. There's ways for the alleged victim to be heard in court without being physically there, with texting, phone call, email, Twitter, handwritten notes, hand-delivered notes, U.S. mail. Right to be informed of the final disposition of the case. Right to be informed of being able to file a civil suit after a criminal conviction. The right to money damages, restitution in some cases. The right to receive one's property back if the police took it for evidence reasons. The right to view the pre-sentence report of the probation department. To be free from intimidation, harassment, and abuse. To be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity. To be informed of the critical stages of the criminal justice process. Establishing for the victim to receive, the alleged victim to receive a free copy of the initial incident report from the investigating law enforcement agency. Includes at a minimum the victim's name, offender's name, date of the crime, charges, and a summary of the incident. Victims' rights, So, whole bunch of stuff, right? Whole bunch of stuff. The right to be informed about restorative justice practices, 18-1-903-901-305. 18-1-901-305. Restorative justice practices. Does it say that a nonprofit gets to monopolize the word restorative justice? Because they said, oh, there was a gun that was, part of the events of September 17th, 2021. There was a gun that was a part of the arrest. There was like 5 AR-15s pointed right at me. So every arrest has a gun that's a part of, the events. So we're going to pretend that you care about restorative justice. I don't think you give a shit about restorative justice. I have to take this to trial. I don't think I have a choice. This has to go to trial. So, what else? Anything else? Yeah, there's more victims' rights here, but I'm getting, I'll just, Michael Gonzalez, Amanda Hopkins, Kristen Newmeyer Olson, Kim Cortez Rodriguez, Daniel Walzel, Alamosa, John Stinger, Rio Grande, Jason Kelly, Canejos, Kimberly Wood, Costilla, Ruth Atchison Mineral and Craig Schuneman, Saguache County, and Craig Schuneman, Saguache County.